Good afternoon and welcome to Tarot by Izzy. Thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate your company as always. I had some good feedback on my previous reading and I really did appreciate it. There's one comment, but it's one comment that was truly appreciated. So today we're going to follow on from the Alec Murdaugh case. It appears to be quite a dynasty going back 3 generations in the Hampton, South Carolina area. Quite a dynasty of family practicing law for over 100 years in that area. And we're going to look to see if there's any connections between Alec Murdaugh and the dynasty and potential links to any other incidents that have happened previously as well. And as I say, this reading is for entertainment purposes only. Anything I say is just pure speculation and should not be treated as a statement of fact. So one of the incidents I'm going to do an energy reading on is in relation to Stephen Smith. Stephen was found on the Sandy Run Road near Hampton, South Carolina at 3:48 a.m. on the 8th of July 2015. Stephen was born on the 29th of January 1996, which meant he was 19 when he passed. By all accounts, Stephen was a ray of sunshine and was adored by his mother, family and friends. Stephen was found or noticed by a passing driver on the very same road, the Sandy Run Road, and he called 911. And on investigation, it was discovered that Stephen was found 3 miles from his car, and that his car had actually run out of petrol or gas, as we would say, in the USA. And the speculation was that was the reason why Stephen was walking on that road, and he had succumbed to a hit and run. At the initial investigation on the site, there were no vehicle parts found, such as broken tail lights or pieces of glass. And initially, a coroner ruled that Stephen's passing was a result of a homicide due to a shot wound to the head. However, later a pathologist determined Stephen's passing was not as a result of a shot injury to the head, rather the cause of death was by blunt force trauma, specifically a vehicle. And again, initially, at the initial investigation, no parts of vehicles were found. So what do we know about Stephen? Well, Stephen was born under the sun sign Aquarius, which is an air sign, and the symbol is the water bearer, and ruled by the planets Uranus and Saturn. And Aquarians are known to be innovative, quirky, and good at building networks. And the typical Aquarian archetype is seen as being the little rebel. The moon phase at the time of Stephen's birth, on the 29th of January 1996, was the waxing gibbous. It looks almost like a full moon. It rises in the east, mid to late afternoon, and sets about 3 a.m. And during the phase of the waxing gibbous moon, it's a time to wait and fine-tune and analyse anything before you act. So anything you think about, make sure you check all the ins and outs. The moon phase at the time of Stephen's passing on the 8th of July was the last quarter moon. The last quarter moon rises after midnight and sets around noon. And during the last quarter moon, it can be a period of increased tensions and misunderstandings. So if you have any projects on the go or in plan during this phase, it's time to review your plans and maybe reset the trajectory if needed. So, as I say, there is a link to Alex Murdaugh in relation to this, because there has been allegations that one of his sons was involved in the incident. And I reflect on what Alec Murdaugh said as he gave evidence on trial. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. First we practice to deceive. Oh, what a tangled web we weave, when first we practice to deceive. And that's a poem by Sir Walter Scott, and it's from Marmion, A Tale of Flodden Field. So currently, Alec Murdaugh is on trial for the demise of his wife Maggie and son Paul. And as I say, there have been allegations, rumours and speculations that one of his sons, who's no longer with us, either was involved in Stephen Smith's demise. So I'm just going to pull a wee Murdaugh card just to set us off here. Okay, just bear with me. And my prayers and thoughts go out to Stephen and his family. And they're all jumping just now. There's just too many there, so I'm going to have to do it again. Just bear with me. And then we'll do a Celtic cross, which I have adapted the questions. Okay. So we have two here. And they are, the answers you need are coming, with balance, spirituality and practicality. So that's what we have for Stephen. This is what the Murdaugh cards are pulling for him just now. The answers he needs to the incident and his family needs are coming. And they have the balance and spirituality and practicality to lean on. So if we move on to the light seers, again these cards have been shuffled, and I'll give them another shuffle. It's this, a Celtic cross that we're doing. So just bear with me. And I have adapted the questions. Now, a lot of this information I have obtained from an individual who's on YouTube. And he is called Eric Allen. And his YouTube is called Compelling True Crimes Documentary. He really seems to be in the know. So, we'll just do 7 cards, a Celtic cross. Okay. And the questions I've laid out are specific to this case. And there we go. Hopefully you can see them all. Right. And the first card I'm going to pull is just to ask Stephen, how is Stephen feeling at the time of the incident? What was running through his mind at the time of the incident? So let's have a wee look. And we'll have the wheel, which is a major arcana and is in the reverse. So there was a change, clearly, of how he was feeling. He was needing to stay focused. Something was troubling him at that point, and he needed to stay focused to complete an unfinished task. And he may have been concentrating, mulling over what he was doing, what his future held, what the situation was in hand, looking at his plans, what could he review. But as I say, it was all quite jumbled. So as Stephen was walking along, what event occurred? And we have the Six of Cups in the reverse. And the Six of Cups is ordinarily to do with nostalgia and reconnecting with family, your inner child. You can see it's a sort of the family type card, the dog, the happiness, the reflection, looking at his younger childhood as well. But that became stuck. Something happened that stopped the reflection in his current form, or then current form. He would be unable to continue at that point to have the nostalgia. Something stopped that he wouldn't be able to go back to the family. But it's not giving us a specific idea of what happened, but something happened that turned that card upside down. So if we move to card number 3, what influences were in play? And again, I go back to the last quarter moon at the time of his demise, where there were tensions and possible misunderstandings. So the Emperor, was in play at that point. Now, ordinarily, the Emperor means the divine masculine, authority, power, a natural leader structure, someone who's strategic, analytical, takes action and promotion. So, was he? I don't know. Trying to think how to word it, just in case, but I don't want to cause any offence. So we're asking what influences were in play, and it looks like there was a mature individual man in play, or who portrayed himself like that. And we'll have a chess piece here. There was a plan. There was a plan put in place, and they were moving. Someone was in overall control regarding the situation to put this end, this light in the family. If we move to card number 4, we're asking, was there something specifically happened before the event of Stephen's demise? Did something happen just prior to that? And we have the Strength card in the upright, as you can see there. And ordinarily, the Strength card is to do with courage, calmness, influence, purity of thought. But sometimes it can also mean lust or animal instinct. It can, in the upright ordinarily, it can mean strength. You're in control. You're actually in control and you have courage. But it can sometimes depict lust. So, or animal instinct. Was there something that happened in relation to this emperor that caused this situation? Let's move on. As I say, I want to be sensitive in relation to this. If we move to card number 5, if it was not an accident, was We'll ask the pendulum as we're making assumptions. Okay, you can see that, okay. Was Stephen's demise an accident? Was Stephen Smith's demise on the Sunny Run Road an accident? No, thank you. Did someone deliberately hurt Stephen Smith or a group of individuals at 3:48 a.m. or round about that on the Sunny Run Road? Yeah, thank you. Was there more than one individual involved? Was there more than one individual in the demise of Stephen Smith? Thank you. Can I ask, was one of Alec Murdaugh's sons involved in the demise of Stephen Smith? Was one of Alec Murdaugh's sons involved in the demise of Stephen Smith? Thank you. So moving on to card number 5. We've asked the pendulum, and we have the 4 of Cups. So it looks like there was an offer made about the situation, but it was rejected. So whatever happened, there was an attempt to say, look, how can we resolve this? But this was rejected. And I'll go to the 3. So I think there was 3 people involved. And this was the offer of friendship, of compromise, and it was rejected. If we move on to card number 6, how did they think? So we've established, according to the pendulum, that it wasn't an accident, it was an incident that happened, that there was more than one person involved. So what did they hope? How did they think they were going to get out of this? The lovers. And what they hoped, obviously, was that the future would say, the short-term future, that they would have support from their loved ones, from friendships, and relationships, and possibly the support of their romantic acquaintances for, say, alibis. Is it such a word, alibis? We shall see. So if we move on to card number 7, did Stephen have an inkling, an idea of why? Did he have an idea of why this was happening? And we'll have the Fool in reverse. And the Fool in the upright is ordinarily you're setting off on a new journey. But in the reverse, it's the start of the tarot. It's naivety. Well, he was young, he was 19. He lacked experience, and whatever journey he was on in relation to this emperor and what happened with the strength was he was on a, I don't want to say a fool's journey, he was on a naive journey. So he didn't expect the consequences of what happened previously to initiate this incident to occur. If we move on to card number 8, how was his demise viewed by the family, friends, the community? Did they have an inkling, suspicions, anything? Chariot. They think a vehicle was involved. It was driven straight to him. It wasn't an accident because this person is in control of the reins. So they might try to say it was an accident, but it was a controlled incident, I would suggest, and I think that's what the wider community and family and friends feel as well. If we move on to card number 9, what does Stephen hope will be revealed? What does he hope can be revealed? Justice. Or his fears. It's hopes and fears, usually this is. And justice in the upright is ordinarily, natural law, balance, legal matters, fairness, cause, integrity. In the reverse, it can mean imbalance, karma, consequences and retribution. So while he hopes to have justice in the legal framework, he's afraid he might just have to rely on karma delivering its own justice on any dishonesty that happened that night. And what's the outcome of the investigation going to be? And here we have the devil. What is going to be exposed is the situation that Stephen was in, that we have an older individual here, we have the offer to apologise for any offence. He was on a naive journey. He was a young lad, and all young lads have, and young girls have hormones racing, and he hopes that he's now liberated. The story is going to be exposed in relation to the healthy versus the unhealthy situation that he had been trapped in. That there maybe had been, the lies will be exposed in relation to sexuality, in relation to how else would I say, materialism. Maybe there was money involved, maybe there was things. The devil can be, how should I say, it is the worst of our natures, and this is the outcome. It's going to be exposed of the people involved in the situation, what they were trapped in, what trapped them to the antics of the devil. So he is hoping that this will be revealed, that karma, if he doesn't get justice, karma will come through. So I'm going to do a wee talking to heaven card for Stephen. My thoughts and prayers are with his mother, his loved ones, and I hope there's peace and light no young person, no parent should lose a child. So give me a card, please. Please give me a card in relation to a wee message for Stephen's mum. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sure that his mother will have forgiven him for any antics, naughty boy antics. Tears cleanse the soul, and I have a new understanding. So there we go. That's probably how he feels, that he needs forgiveness, and he'll have that in abundance from his mother, for the upset that he feels has caused his family. And he says that tears cleanse the soul, and he has a new understanding where he is. So she's fortunate to have his energies around her to bring her peace. So I hope you have enjoyed this reading. If you have, I would be grateful if you could like, subscribe and share. If you could, I would really appreciate it. It helps my channel grow. Apparently it's something to do with algorithms, which I don't understand, but I'll get my head around that. It takes me all my time to try and get the camera to work. And wherever you are, I wish you peace, love and light. And again, I do appreciate you joining me today. Thank you.